Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Rise, brought to you by me. I am your book witch. My name is Jess. I run the books over here at Spellbound Books, and I am really excited to bring you a short and sweet tutorial. I am on my moon today, so I'm going to hop on, hop off, and just not waste your time at all, okay? The name of this episode is Journal as Oracle. And I want to explain to you a couple ways in which you can use your book to tap in to that inner knowing that we all have. All right. And if you think that you don't have an inner knowing, or you're not connected to your intuition, or you fail to connect to the realms, you're not alone. You're not alone. I used to feel that way too. I would see everyone having all these crazy spiritual experiences, and then I would be wondering why I'm not doing them or not having them. But that's true. That was a good Freudian slip, because doing a spiritual experience is exactly how spiritual experiences get done. And so I'm here to offer you a couple ways in which you use your journal. So the first way that you can use your journal is for manifestation purposes. You can go into this space where you follow your love, okay? And that's a big key point into how to manifesting what you want, is to feel the emotion, feel it like it's here now, and then just follow anything that is loving, okay? So if you love green socks and frogs, follow that. If you love kayaking and lakes, follow that. If you like to crochet or you love cats, then let that be your truth. So that's one way that you can use your book. You can write down things that you love, all right? Thus raising your vibration and bringing more cooperative components into your life so that you can have more of what you love. That's one way. Way number 2 that I want to show you how to use your journal as an oracle is to go into a journey. So when you go into a journey, it's sort of like a meditation. But when you go into these certain journeys, you have a place in mind, a place that you want to visit. A lot of people call this astral traveling. The really simple way, the little 3D way of saying this, is that you would be using your imagination. So the way that you do this is that you get in a comfortable position with your journal beside you. Pencils are great. You can open your book onto a page, and you can be sitting down or laying down. I prefer to lay down, but if you fall asleep during practices, then you might want to sit up. And what I'll do is I'll decide where I want to go, what I want to know. You can say, I want to visit my future house or my future cabin in the woods, or I want to know what is stopping me from reaching my true potential. You can go really deep, or you can stay surface level. You're like, I want to see myself in 5 years, or I want to see the legacy that I'm leaving, or I'm asking my helping spirits if my path that I'm on leads me to the place that I want to go. And so you just do a lot of self-affirming questions where you're like, okay, this is what I want to know. And you set the intention. So from there, what I like to do is put on shamanic drumming. And usually, generally speaking, it's just but it can be any tempo. It can be any sort of hypnosis-inducing trance state. That's my favorite, because every time I hear that drum, I don't have a drum here, but anytime I hear that, it lets my subconscious mind know where we're going. My dog's barking because I'm clapping. It lets us all know where we're going. And so if you ever have taken a drum journey, it's very similar to that, but it's self-directed. So if you go into that space, okay, you breathe into your body, stay in your core, have your journal right beside you. Hi, everybody. You have your journal right beside you, and all you do is travel to that space, okay? And when you're traveling to that space, say that you end up in an open field. When you end up in the open field, and you're asking for where you should go next, or you're asking to see yourself in 5 years, then you receive information, okay? Oftentimes this information doesn't come in like sentence or auditory anything. It comes in ways of energy and of flow and of metaphor and of imagery, maybe sounds, anything. Whatever you feel like is pivotal and important for your internal process, you can go ahead with your eyes closed in your state and just write that down on your book, okay? So say that you're doing that, you went on your journey, you got some places, you're feeling yourself in a space of almost falling asleep. That is the place in which you want to precariously balance on when you're in a journey state, all right? So you don't want to completely let yourself fall asleep. Once you realize you're falling asleep, you could even like say in your mind's eye, like, okay, I'm not falling asleep. I'm in a journey. I call it a journey kind of trance, and that I can explore in this place. Or if I'm communing with an energy or a spirit or anything like that, and I feel myself falling asleep, generally speaking, I get myself out of the journey and I feel a lot better, or I will bring myself out of the journey and then like I'll go lay down and take a nap or something like that. I tend to not fall asleep during journeys. It's like a practice for me where I can sit in meditation and almost fall asleep, but not all the way. And if you know anything about like brain waves and stuff, you can do a lot of studying about how your brain works and those liminal spaces between waking and sleeping. People even listen to like binaural beats, or they listen to like self-hypnosis, what they're called. They're like recordings where like people are saying like affirmations or guided statements in which program your brain while you're going to sleep or right when you wake up. So the second way that you could use your book as oracle is to do a journey. I have those big eye coverings at home. I think I got mine on Amazon, and it's like an eye covering where it doesn't let the light in, and it has a Bluetooth headset in each ear. And so when I do that, when I am going into a journey, I usually make it dark because, you know, most people that do energetic work understand that you have to go into the dark to be able to get things out of it. That's the way that like creation works in general. We're all born in the dark, and then we come out into like the 3D physical world. And so when you do that, you're always in control when you're in a journey. You can wake yourself up. You can go somewhere else. You can say, oh, that doesn't feel good. I do not accept that. And you can move anywhere. Don't think that just because you're in a trance state in meditation, it's just the same. It's just the same. You can wake yourself up from meditation. You can go deeper into a meditation with breath work, anything. So your journal acts as like a scribe, like a conduit, like the things that you go into your journey in that darkness and you write things down. Don't worry about it being like straight. Don't worry about it being like up and down. If you draw the face of a turtle, like so be it. You can later, when you bring yourself out of that journey, take a few deep breaths, ground yourself into your body. I like to do like these little tapping motions right here, because that, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just connecting me to my heart, but it brings me back into my body. So after every time, like after this call, I'll probably like, you know, stop the live and then like hammer on my chest a little bit. Anyone who lives in my house knows that my meeting or my whatever is over, because I'm like, ah, and I just like release these like feelings, anything that I was holding on to. Highly recommend literally tapping into your body after you get into a journey, or get out of a journey, I mean, so that you can come into yourself fully. What I do when coming out of a journey is I don't necessarily go look at what I wrote, because there's so many things. It's a psychedelic realm, you guys. And so it's hard to like really try to figure out exactly what happened while you're in a journey. So what I do is I like to process with my subconscious first. Even if I get up and go drink a glass of water and come right back to my journal just to see what I wrote down. Sometimes I know what I wrote down. Sometimes I don't. I was doing this whale journey because I had like whale medicine coming at me. This was years ago. And if you've hung out with me, you probably have heard this before. But I was in a drum journey led by a woman in circle, and whales. I was terrified of whales, so scared. And it turns out that once journeying with whale calls, like in my headphones, and I was journeying, trying to figure out what the fuck the whales were trying to say to me, It was really just repressed trauma from my childhood. It was like the deep ocean that I had to go into to be like a better person in my own life. That was the, spoiler alert. But to do that, to go into the whale journeying and to sit there floating in the darkness of the ocean, getting approached by ginormous whales, it takes a little bit of effort to stay there. And so what I ended up writing down was like big trigger words, like in my journal at that time. And I was like, oh, that's it. The whale represented the trauma deep under the ocean that I'm not willing to feel. So that's just one small example of how you can understand things after you write them down. I remember after that whale journey, I didn't actually go to my journal and look at it for like 2 days because it was scary to me. It was scary. Moving on. You are always in control when you're in a journey, and you're always the number one person that is running the show. All right. So don't give your power away to anyone at any time. All right. What else do I have? So the first way of journaling for his oracle is to write down your manifestations, write down everything you love. The second way to use your journal is to go into a journey. You can do this in meditation. Just make sure that you have your book at hand. You have a pencil in your hand. I even lay down, you guys. I lay down and like in my bed with my eyes covered, and I just like write things down. Sometimes I'll flip the page because I have no idea like what's going on in my 3D face. Okay, so the third way that you can use your journal as an oracle is channeled writing. And I don't know if you guys have seen this on a movie or if you've ever seen this in your life, but channeled writing is a lot like journey writing, but it's a little bit different. So in channeled writing, you are literally going to start scribbling. Sorry, I don't have a journal here, guys. I'm going to start scribbling on the page. Generally speaking, you're in a meditative state. Generally speaking, you might have a question. And generally speaking, it is a, not a talent, but like a strength that you might have is channeled writing. Me, I have mixed results as your book witch to do channeled writing. Sometimes I get good nuggets and keys of understanding. And then sometimes I literally just scribble down the whole page. And that's okay. So channeled writing it's important to mention that in channeled writing, you want to absolutely make sure that you are in charge of your own energy. You are going to affirm in the very beginning that this writing is coming through me, but it is not of me. You're going to say things that make you feel protected, like no other energy can attach onto me. You're going to say, I am in my power this whole time. I am allowing benevolent forces, helpful forces to be with me as I'm doing this channeled writing. And so you just take your journal. I oftentimes don't listen to drums while I'm doing channeled writing. Generally speaking, I listen to frequencies. So if you have YouTube, you can put in 437 hertz. You can find anything that feels good to you. I generally use YouTube, but you can use whatever you want. You can play an instrument, in the background. You can play something, say that you were trying to connect to a loved one who has passed, or you saying you were trying to connect to an inner knowing, like some part of yourself that needs to be seen and represented, or maybe a goal of say that you need health in your body, or anything, you guys. It could be anything, whatever your desires and those things that you love. In our first exercise, all those things are important when it comes to channeled writing. So you set up a space. Okay, it's your safe space. You say nothing can come within this space that means me harm, and that I am in power at all times. And sometimes I set a timer, sometimes I don't. It just depends on your style. Do whatever feels good to you, and you will be channel writing in no time. So literally all you do is start scribbling. And you never stop yourself from moving your hand. Okay? So you're scribbling in your journal. And it helps if it's a magic journal, you guys. It helps more if your energy is connected into your book. That's what I do. And sometimes I find it hard to explain to other people what I do because I've never met anyone who does what I do. So me as your book witch connect you and a powerful magical tool together, and it's your book. All right. So you can manifest with your book. You can create spells with your book. You can let things go with your book. You can bring things in with your book. And it's really important that it's not just any void of energy vessel. Okay. If all you have is a cardboard box to do your channeled writing on, you're good to go. You got this. I want to remind everyone that the power inside of you is what needs to be conjured first before we ever see it out here in the physical world. And all of us have that power inside of us. All of us. There's not a human on the planet who doesn't have an innate intelligence inside of them that wants to see them grow, that wants to see them expand, and wants to see them in high vibratory states of being, like joy, gratitude, fulfillment. It's just the way the universe works. We were always, when we came into being, we were always searching for the light. It's like in our biology. So don't doubt yourself, good friends. Know that you have a very, very strong, powerful surge of energy inside of you that you can tap into whenever you want. If you have any other questions about your Spellbound book, or if you have any other questions about how to use your journal as an oracle, I would love to hear them. Like, this is my way of service. This is my way of showing up for you guys. And I appreciate you being here so much. And do you have any other questions? Anyone have any questions? I saw like tons of people coming on. Whoop. Hi. Wow. Thank you guys for seeing me and being here so much. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to hang up the phone. All right, we will be here next Monday. We, as in spirit helpers and me, or the little mouse in my pocket, Gabe, be here next Monday. All right, and I have an interview with a dear friend, a book colleague of mine, and a dear sister, and I would love to share that with you. Hi, and bye, everyone. You heard the mouse comment. Okay, adios, my friends.